just as with Finland, these acts against Romania, these annexations of those regions pushed the Romanians into the arms of Nazi Germany. So once Operation Barbarossa took place a year later, the Romanians were very eager to regain their lost territories, and they actually contributed with quite large forces on the Eastern Front, fighting at Stalingrad and Kursk and many other important battles side by side with the Germans. So it was a typical strategy in which the Soviet Union, they took some areas, but they also made great enemies. And today, again, in Ukraine, we're seeing the same, that they are prepared to launch a war of aggression to take either parts of Ukraine or potentially all of it, depending on what is their end goal. But at the same time, they do turn half of the world, if not more, against them. And they have certainly done a lot to unify the EU in security issues, but also strengthening the NATO alliance and the transatlantic community
indeed.
as a whole. This final year, so from the summer of 1940, where you have both the Baltic states and those regions of Romania that are annexed to the Soviet Union, you have continued cooperation. However, immediately after this, in August, you have the so-called August crisis, when relations between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union begin to break down a little bit. There are a couple of reasons for it. As I mentioned in a previous episode, this unexpected demand from the Soviet Union to take northern Bukovina as well from Romania, and not just Bessarabia as had been in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. It startled the Germans and made them increasingly hostile to the Soviets. The Soviets also had enough with the fact that the Germans were falling so far behind on their end of the deal, the economic deal, so they didn't send all those advanced pieces of machinery and weapons that the Soviet Union was supposed to receive. So the Soviet Union decided to, you could say, freeze that agreement, and they stopped sending natural resources to Germany. Also, the Soviets were becoming increasingly worried by the fact that they had initially partitioned Poland together with Nazi Germany, hoping that at least for the moment the Germans would redirect their focus, and instead of thinking about invading the Soviet Union, they would deal with Western Europe first, which is what happened with the invasion of France in May 1940. However, the Soviets thought that this would be something similar to the First World War, that this would be an extended campaign that would last a year or two or maybe even three, giving the Soviets more time to build up their own forces. Instead, naturally, the French this time, as we all know, completely collapsed. They had really no will to fight at that point. And by June, it was clear that there would be no opposition from the French. So now the Soviets were nervous that with this great victory, soon Germany would turn its attention back to the Soviet Union again. So sending them all that oil and other natural resources was something that they realized could, in the end, hurt themselves. And it's true, because the natural resources that were sent from the Soviet Union to Germany, they were crucial for the German war effort. According to calculations, if the Soviet Union would have not helped Nazi Germany, starting from the invasion of Poland, Nazi Germany would have ran out of the most crucial natural resources for their war effort, meaning oil especially, but also other types of natural resources that you need in industry and in the industrial production of wartime levels of weapons, and also food, as the British naval embargo on Nazi Germany was from September 1st, from the invasion of Poland, was complete. There was nothing coming in through the Atlantic Sea or really the Mediterranean either. So instead, they were saved by the Soviet Union, through which the Trans-Siberian Railway was sending natural resources and food even from Mongolia. They would have lasted 10, 11 months. Would there have been an attack from the West? For example, the invasion of France would have been greatly complicated by the lack of natural resources. And had there been a strong French-British joint pushback, probably Nazi Germany would have lost that war by late 1940 or maybe 1941. But instead, the Soviets, you could say, they put the Nazis on life support, and the war would continue for much longer. And naturally, for the Soviet Union, it would also end with 20 or 25 million dead.
Adam, the clock in the corner of the studio is blinking at us. I'm afraid we have to bring that episode to a close, but fear not, we'll pick up the story next time. There we are. As usual, we've been defeated by the clock, but fear not, if you join us next time, as we hope you will, we will continue the story here on Poland Daily History. In the meantime, thank you for watching.